Max, take one. I've been working on Little Empty Boxes for what feels like my whole life.
And Kathy.
It's a film about both hope and desperation. It's about the bittersweet quality of having a chronic disease in the 21st century.
I want my family to have good health. Amen.
This was my first project. This was my first foray into what has become my body of work, which is about health science communication and to really help people carve a different path, I guess. I had become interested in dementia solely because of my mom, because of what it was that my mom was experiencing. But what about for people who had yet to experience dementia? What about for people who, like me, had no prior family history of the condition? I thought that if anybody was going to be able to move the needle on this condition, it was somebody who was essentially an outsider. I remember I self-funded a Kickstarter teaser that we did to raise initial funds to do our first set of interviews for the film.
Woohoo! All right. How's it going, everybody? I'm Max Lugavere, and I'm inviting you to participate with me in a project that I think has the potential to do a lot of good for a lot of people. All right, so right now we're driving up to Boston, specifically Charlestown. We're going to meet Dr. Alessio Fasano, who's like the globally recognized leader in gluten research.
I had worked previously as a journalist, working for Al Gore for a number of years, where I had free reign to investigate whatever topic I wanted on a pretty major public stage, a TV network called Current TV. I really wanted to become an evangelist for this topic at a time when nobody was really talking about the link between diet and lifestyle and brain health. And of course, the fact that my mom was suffering from this condition was at the very beginning of this journey, which would ultimately be an 8-year journey, was the primary catalyst.
Hey.
Hello.
How you doing, Max?
I'm Molly.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm gonna draw your blood.
Cool.
I didn't have a background as a medical doctor. I was not an academic. I was a journalist, and I think most importantly, I was a concerned son. But I had these tools at my disposal, and I realized a few things really early on that really catalyzed my intent of creating a documentary. And one was that these conditions, Alzheimer's disease, other forms of dementia, Parkinson's disease, they don't begin overnight. They begin years, if not decades, prior to the onset of symptoms. And yet nobody was talking about it. I decided that the way that I could really help to push this issue forward was to make a film about it. I had no idea at the time of what it took to create a documentary. I just picked up a camera and I started filming my mom.
How do you feel yesterday?
I felt marvelous.
Ma? How you doing in there?
She was definitely the kind of mom to indulge her children, and when I told her that I had this idea of doing a film about what she was going through, she was all in from day one. I mean, she, any way that she could partake in the lives of her children, she was just all in. She was such a team player, but she was super supportive and super proud. Anything that she could do to support me. She was, always super gung-ho about, and I think in a way my mom also really liked having the camera on her.
I got 8 million dishes to do, and then I want to, fix myself up so I look good in front of the camera. Because right now I look like Halloween. Oh my God.
Tell me a joke.
Tell you, I can't think of any jokes. I really can't.
What's brown and sticky?
A stick. I love that. I love that.
What's your favorite animal?
I like elephants, and I like turtles,
And dogs.
and pigs, and dogs.
What was it like?
Actually, I love all animals, not equally, but I just love all animals, and I want all of them to do well.
Muku aha. What's up, Mama?
Mama Salama,
Are you having fun?
having fun.
Tell me a little bit about what we've been doing so far.
Nothing. Shopping with Max.
There was a part of her that definitely enjoyed being the center of attention. And so that's what made, I mean, that was part of what made the filmmaking process feel so natural and, dare I say, at times even fun, despite the morose and sad and tragic subject matter. And so filming her felt very natural. I mean, I was even surprised at the level of vulnerability she was willing to display on camera.
To ask you some general questions, do you remember what the date is today?
What the date is? No, I can't.
Well, how about the month?
No.
But I think she probably, knowing my career trajectory at that point and believing in me the way that my mom always would, I think that she probably deep down knew that this project had the potential to help so many. And so I think that's probably why she never resisted, even for a moment, being a part of it.
Mom, give a toast.
I don't have anything to toast with, but I would like you to get out here and see this because it's one of a kind. I don't know if we'll ever see this again.
Why not?
Well, who knows? Maybe you'll see better, maybe you'll see worse. But I'm glad to be here with you, that's for sure.
I had achieved an earlier cut of the film, and for me to see everything strung together and to create like a cohesive timeline of events, to me it was just, I mean, it was amazing, because I had worked so hard on the film and really had so little in the way of resources for so long that even the earlier cut of the film, to me, it was incredible to see, but it lacked a real, I guess, emotional spine. So there had been a lot of like really emotional verite style scenes that had been left on the cutting room floor, and when Chris got a look at that footage, it confirmed my suspicions that there was this whole other film there and this whole other story that and a better story that needed to be told.
So when I first heard about this film that Max had started and gone after, it was through my business partner, Jacob, and he had seen a cut of a documentary that was really compelling footage. The puzzle pieces were there, but the final picture wasn't as powerful as I thought it could be. When I saw scenes of Kathy on the screen, everything shifted in my mind, and the project became not a film about dementia, not a film about medicine, but a film about a person and about the struggles and the realities of what it's like to care for somebody who's going through such a traumatic and serious situation. Max had given me, 1,800 hours of footage from all the way from when he was first born and his parents were filming him. And then as he got old enough to hold the camera himself, he took it and continued filming. And it was an entire life on a hard drive.
That's better.
Hey, Max.
Not just the documentary footage, but an entire life. And that was incredibly difficult to decide what should stay and what should go. But the first hour I had that footage, I just skimmed through. And I opened one clip and just clicked into the middle of it. And it was an interview Max was doing with his mom in the middle of the night.
I feel like I'm getting worse, I'll tell you that.
She was not doing too well, and she was angry, and it's when she names the film.
No matter what you're gonna do, Kathy, no matter what you're gonna try, it's not gonna work. These boxes remain empty. You know what I'm saying?
No, explain.
No, the boxes are empty.
It immediately stuck with me. And I closed it, and that could not get that out of my head. And then you cut to 7 weeks later, I've watched all the footage, and I'm thinking about how this film's gonna come together. And the first thing I did is I went and I found that clip, and I cut it out, and I put it on a timeline, and just parked it. 10 hours into the timeline, I just parked it. We're not gonna forget about this. I'm gonna find a place for this to go. As we began to start the process of kickoff of sort of remaking this movie, in my own life, I had within my family a member be diagnosed with dementia. And suddenly it hit home that this is something that I'm going through in my own life, in my own different situation, different circumstances, but it made the footage of Kathy feel like it was my own mom. And what would I want to know or see in that situation? And then through that process, that mindset, she, in the film, kind of becomes everyone's mom.
They'll have fun playing together.
I'm sold. This is awesome. Who gets to do that?
Well, you do.
This was my room.
It's wild that actually all of my favorite scenes in Little Empty Boxes had actually been left on the cutting room floor. I think it just speaks to the real grit of what it was that we experienced, in the throes of dementia. The fact that after every scene, it always comes back to my mom. I think it makes the film sing in a way that it just didn't before. I mean, it's so raw, it's so emotional, it's so personal, it's so vulnerable. That was Chris's vision for the project. Even for me, I mean, there are scenes in the film that weren't in the original cut, where I'm interacting with my mom and I'm almost in disbelief at what it is that I'm experiencing, and the tone of my own voice, like I can detect an impatience in my own voice that I cringe, actually. Like, watching it makes me feel really uncomfortable for the way that I was responding to my mom in certain moments, which is not a reflection of any harshness or malevolence on my part. It's just the nature of dementia. It's like what dementia brings out in everybody involved.
What?
Get out of here.
Why not?
Because I can't.
What do you want me to do? Are you
Get up so I can take my stuff out.
Are you dressed?
Yeah. Thank you. Where is
I don't get it. You couldn't figure out how to open up the door?
Won't open.
Huh?
Won't open.
As a caregiver, as an onlooker, I mean, especially observing a woman who was so powerful for so much of her life, not be able to do something so simple, it's like you can't help but think that maybe there's a part of him that's faking it. The vulnerability, I think, it's just incredible, and I think anybody who's ever had a loved one with dementia will certainly be able to relate to it.
Ooh, I want to deal with this. The coup de grace. All right, take a look.
Wow.
Very nice, right? I wish you could help me to get back to the place where I was. It smells like someone's drawers.
What makes Little Empty Boxes such a unique documentary about dementia is the fact that we try to go after dementia prevention. Max has spent a long time since the days of filming this documentary working diligently to spread awareness about dementia prevention and brain health and brain care. And this is like an origin story for that. It's an origin story of somebody who their entire trajectory of their life changed. It's not often that happens. Oftentimes when there's an illness in the family or disease and somebody takes a primary caretaker position, when that phase and season of life ends, most of the time, a lot of people would get back on track to what they were doing before. And that's not what happened. In this case, Max changed everything and stayed on track doing what he's been doing. And so that was a core message, a core theme from the beginning in this, is how can we help people understand what they're doing to themselves is killing them, is killing their brain. And the fact that a similar situation, appeared in my life the moment that I started working on this. As someone who didn't know anything about this, what is the information that myself and my family members should know now that we're in this situation? My biggest goal with this film was to give Kathy Lugavere a voice and a platform to tell everyone who watches this, what do we need to know and what can we learn from her?
I need help, and I don't know who's going to do it and help me. I can't go out. I can't go to the movies. I can't do anything.
Well, you know that we're here for you, right, Mom?
But it's not enough. You've got to be there to help me. It's not enough to say, I'm for you. It's not enough.
No matter who you are, where you are, there is a lot to be grateful for. If you're alive, you have a degree of agency if you're living and breathing. I think making sure that the people that you love in your life know that you love them, make sure they're exquisitely aware how much you love them. That's something that my mom really strongly believed in, and I think that's a message that definitely comes across in the film.
Blow a kiss to the camera.
Go on. Quote the number.
What's up, Mama?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Besides me.
Just you. You're the only person that I care to talk to.
Thank you.
Love you, Mommy.
We explore various ideas in the film. It's not a nutrition documentary. It's not a diet movie. The film doesn't advance a one-size-fits-all prescription to end dementia. Nothing like that. It presents a number of, I think, really important and compelling ideas, but ultimately, the message that the film sends is a message of empowerment, that, we no longer need to sit idly on our hands. I don't pretend to have all the answers, and the film certainly doesn't. Nonetheless, it still lights a candle for those who are in the pit of darkness and in the fog of war of chronic disease. When you watch Little Empty Boxes, you're gonna meet my why. You're gonna meet my mom. I'm gonna be welcoming you into my family, and you're gonna truly understand why it is that I do everything that I do. And I'm so excited for you to meet her.